What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel on nootropics, on testosterone, on peptides, using nutraceuticals and everything we have available to us within reason to make us feel, perform, and function awesomely. I'm your host, Ryan Michael Ballo. Thanks so much for being with me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit the bell to get notified of all the stuff I'm putting out. You actually have to hit the bell to get notified of live streams. The best bet is to have a subscription to our channel as well as the YouTube app on your phone. Then you get notified of everything. A couple products support this broadcast, and I want to officially announce the coupon code CYBER. Coupon code CYBER will save you 35%. That is a huge amount of money off both the Cortex nootropic stack as well as the Torque nootropic stack. These are both highly effective nootropic stacks that target motivation, mental energy, and mostly stimulation. Get them at livecortex.com. Links in the description below. Coupon code CYBER, 35% off. I'll explain them more at the end of this video. Okay, so let's just quick give a preface. Sometimes after Thanksgiving, you feel crappy, and that can extend because you've destabilized blood sugar, you've destabilized GABA, the neurotransmitter GABA, and so you'll seek things that are higher on the glycemic index in order to feel good, and that just sort of perpetuates that cycle. At the same time, you'll probably seek things that contain or that will agonize GABA receptors, and you don't even really know you're doing this. It's just that you sort of are seeking what you generally know may help you feel better, and that's usually booze, frankly, because booze is very GABAergic, will bind right to the GABA receptors and kind of make you feel less anxious. If people are coming post-Thanksgiving feeling anxious and you drank a lot, that's absolutely why. So in addition to kind of just generally feeling crappy after you eat too much, I want to give you a protocol that I use to recover relatively quickly and what you should do for a 3-day period or each day in order to feel optimal and not be like weighed down by a big Thanksgiving meal. So this is what I do. Day number 1, right in the morning, I take 20 milligrams fasiracetam. 20 milligrams fasiracetam. That is a nootropic chemical that's going to restore the balance of the GABAergic system. Okay, because you've destabilized it, particularly with booze. And for most folks, Thanksgiving Day itself isn't the only day they drink. They drink Thanksgiving Day, they drink the next day, and that usually carries on into the weekend. So you've destabilized GABA pretty significantly if you're that person. So 20 milligrams fasiracetam day 1 is going to help restabilize the GABAergic system. Very, very important for keeping you not anxious and kind of just restoring your general propensity to be anxiety versus not. Calmness and collectedness, and ultimately that equals better brain function. Number 2, in the subsequent 3 days, you should be in a caloric deficit. So day 1, calorie deficit. Day 2, calorie deficit. Day 3, calorie deficit. There's a couple reasons why I think this is really important. Number 1, it's going to foster gut motility. Okay. The more you're in a caloric deficit, the more you're forcing the colon to work better and faster and clear whatever's left over. And then if you think that you don't have any leftover waste from the food that you ate, you are mistaken. And if any of the byproducts or even metabolites or endpoint metabolic products of what you consumed are still sitting in your large intestine, and some of them potentially in the small intestine, well, then they could be seeping through your bloodstream depending on how permeable your gut is, and then that can affect brain performance, absolutely, via lipopolysaccharides, among other things, right? An inflammatory response that can affect the brain. So you want to be in a caloric deficit. Doesn't have to be significant. 200 to 300 calories is fine. Each day of this 3-day protocol, you want to work out, whether it's just getting on the treadmill in the gym, preferably lifting weights, otherwise do cardio. And you can get away with this because you are probably in a caloric deficit for many days over the weekend, or at the very least on Thanksgiving Day itself. Okay, so you want to move your body. Again, this is fostering, clearing your intestines and clearing things out of your body the best way that you can through sweat or otherwise. A suggestion, this isn't necessarily part of this protocol, but a suggestion would be, because of all the consumption of food and likely the slowing of your stomach acid production and general digestion in general, you should get a hold of some betaine HCl. Betaine HCl, that is essentially a stomach acid supplement that'll help you digest food a lot better. You don't have to take it consistently, but I would take a capsule of betaine with your biggest meal for the next 3 days. A capsule or 2. You're going to have to kind of gauge how much betaine HCl you need. Most folks do fine with 1 to 2 capsules. All right, let's shift to exclusively nootropics. So the first day 1, you want to take a B complex, okay? And that's, again, because you've consumed booze, for those of you that actually have consumed booze. And, booze, especially when consumed too consistently, will deplete B vitamins, especially from your brain. And you do not want that. I mean, that's, in some sense, some of the cognitive decline post drinking has to do with a depletion of B vitamins or a lack of availability in B vitamins in the brain. So you want to take a B complex each day. For 3 days, just take a B complex in the morning. If you're one of those people that can't tolerate high doses of B vitamins, open up the capsule, dump 3/4 of the B complex out, take 1/4 of the capsule, and you should be good to go. Also on day 1, what I would suggest doing to get the cholinergic system functioning somewhat normally again, and for you to actually feel like you're not a sludgy sloth and not performing well, is take cholinergic nootropics. So you could situate a stack on day 1 like this: 400 milligrams of Alcar, 500 milligrams aniracetam, 50 milligrams citicoline. Okay, not a substantially heavily weighed down stack, not a complex stack. You're just forcing some choline release. You're aiding in the synthesis of that neurotransmitter acetylcholine. You're going to force a little bit more dopamine release and noradrenaline release, but you'll be functioning better, right? If you've got brain fog like post Thanksgiving, this will absolutely help you. You're going to actually want to feel like you're cognitively alive and adept. Instead of you go to work and you're like, oh yeah, fuck dude, the whole weekend, I ate and drank so much and everyone feels like shit and you're moving slow. If you don't want to be that way, take a stack like that. Day 2, and this is really important, if you have torque on hand, our nootropic stack torque, take torque. Okay, this is part of the protocol. Now, you can get away with taking a couple hundred milligrams of Alcar and 500 milligrams of Mucuna purines. That's the primary elements in torque that you really want in your system. But otherwise, torque is just going to make you feel good and function awesomely. The reason that I suggest this is a little secret that I learned many years ago, is that when you're consuming large amounts of tryptophan, which you are in a turkey-based dinner, tryptophan itself is competing with tyrosine for uptake for neurotransmitter synthesis. So that what that ends up meaning is you actually will be making more serotonin in the time that you're, eating a bunch of Thanksgiving related stuff like turkey, tryptophan ridden foods. And not enough dopamine, right? You will have a lack of dopamine synthesis for a short period of time. Now, this will balance out in 3-4 days, but who wants to wait for that? Day number 2, take torque. The Mucuna in it and the Alcar in it is going to facilitate, as well as the CDP choline, better dopamine synthesis and a recovery of the dopaminergic system a lot quicker. And again, that's going to help you to feel better. Also on day 2, this is kind of optional, but I would suggest it anyway. In the morning, you should still take fasiracetam. 20 milligrams fasiracetam again in the morning to continue working on restabilizing the GABAergic system. Day 3, you don't have to take fasiracetam on day 3 if you don't want to. You should sort of gauge, do I feel anxious still? Am I still craving booze? If any of those things are true, then probably you need to work on restabilizing the GABAergic system more. So take 20 milligrams fasiracetam in the morning. Otherwise, what you want to do to sort of seal the deal on the neurological side of this and making you feel better, because you've already worked on, you're already in a caloric deficit, right? So you're kind of fasting, you're clearing a lot of the metabolic byproducts of the food that you ate. You're moving your digestive system around. You're working on the, potential leftover anxiety and that destabilization of your general state with some of the nootropics. You want to be as plastic as possible. And by plastic, I mean you want your brain's capacity to adapt, to grow, for you to learn things, for you to be able to consume information, basically to be back to normal as soon as possible. So you're going to want to, on day 3, take a neurogenesis or a nerve growth factor expressing nootropic. Okay, so a couple options there would be Noopept. Just take some Noopept and some CDP choline. I'd be dosing 7 to 15 milligrams of Noopept, 50 to 100 milligrams of CDP choline. That will facilitate the expression of nerve growth factor, which is a neurological reparative protein, which is going to help you cognitively get back on track. Not that you lost brain cells in this state, but again, you want to be as plastic as possible, and you want regenerative functions in your brain to be healthy and at their peak post drinking a lot of booze, eating way too much food. It's a no-brainer. Another separate option for day 3 as a neurogenesis agent is the chemical dihexa. Dihexa is a very powerful neurogenesis agent that'll essentially, when taken acutely, give you that cognitively alive feeling, right? It'll make your brain function better above baseline instead of sitting there lacking memory on stuff, again, being a slothy sludge in those first couple days. On day 3, take a neurogenesis agent. A dihexa will absolutely help you to function awesomely. Dose range is all over the place. Doses generally are all over the place with dihexa. I'd go with 20 milligrams if I were you. tread carefully and your mileage is going to vary. But dihexa is a very, very powerful compound for jarring the brain back into a place where you can actually feel and function normally. In fact, optimally. This is all intended to make you feel better after you've consumed a lot of booze and a lot of food on Thanksgiving. I know that these days I don't really do that. I don't eat excessively or drink excessively, but I have in the past, and I've created this protocol to get myself feeling better instantly, and just to keep the glucose stabilization, get that under control and maintain it thereafter, as well as the GABAergic stabilization. Because again, the booze destabilizes GABA. Then you've got anxiety, you're wanting more sugar thereafter, you just don't feel optimal. For some of you, you're not even going to care about this. But for others of you that are dialed into how you feel and want to fucking feel awesome all the time, this is a good protocol to very quickly restore all of the functions that make you feel amazing post a giant, set of meals and lots of booze. Hope that makes sense. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Cyber Monday and Cyber Week specials are now live. The coupon code is CYBER, okay? That takes an additional 10% on top of the 25% special we were running last week, 35% off of the Cortex Nootropic Stack. Powerful motivation, mental energy, stimulation, and verbal fluency stack. People are asking me recently on a live stream, what's the difference between Cortex and Torque? Well, they're both very energizing and very powerful, but Cortex is a dopamine supplement, man. It is designed both for neurogenesis, the spawning of new neurons. You're going to think better, think more clear, function better, eliminate brain fog, but at the same time, motivation. That's what dopamine does, enhancing the dopaminergic system. Coupon code CYBER, 35% off the Cortex Nootropic Stack literally right now for Cyber Monday. You've got to get on it ASAP. Our second stack, Torque, exceptionally strong. I mean, look, my friends, if you just want a clean stimulant to be able to take a couple capsules and feel energized, motivated, and ready to kill it, cognitively adept and alive with energy, get Torque. It is an exceptionally powerful stack, the most purchased nootropic stack on the internet. We are blowing through inventory because people love it. Look, if you just want to be able to turn the gears on very quickly, in most cases, the onset is 15 to 25 minutes by taking 2 capsules of something, right? It's like brain performance and aliveness in a pill. By Torque. It is a very, very powerful nootropic stack, and you can find it at livecortex.com. Again, coupon code CYBER saves you 35% on the Torque Nootropic Stack right now for Cyber Monday. Links and the coupon code are in the description below. Last thing I wanted to mention is that the coupon code CYBER also applies in taking 35% off of the 6-month consult. So for those of you that have been waiting to book with me for the right time or a deal on the consulting packages, whether we're working on nootropics, testosterone, both, energy, something else, now would be a time to pull the trigger on that. You'll save 35% on a 6-month program working directly with me, where I'm formulating your regimens, designing your stacks, and making you feel, perform, and function awesome. Again, coupon code CYBER, 35% off the 6-month program. Coupon code CYBER, 35% off both of our nootropic stacks, livecortex.com. Every link for all of our epic performance products are in the description down below. Thank you so much for being with me, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. I hope you had a great one. More content to come this week. Follow this protocol, and I'll talk to you next time.